last 4 games, you've held teams below 100 and like 42.5 field goal percentage. How come? How did that?
Well, some of it is, with Gravis in the lineup, it really helped our offense. But we took a hit on our defense because one of those guys had to defend a supreme offensive player. So by moving Landry into the starting lineup, now Landry can guard. You have a defensive guy who can guard. You put Kyle back in his normal position where he can guard the point guards and doesn't have to guard a two. So it really our defense took a hit, even though our offense increased at the same time. So our defense is better. We got to continue to work on it, think about it, focus on it, and do our job on each possession. But just with Landry in there and the kind of putting guys in the right places really helped us.
The defense picks up after the second half. Are you tearing the paint off the wall in the locker room?
I didn't, didn't have to. Some of it the other night was not lack of effort. Some of it was they was making tough shots. We could done a better job of closing out, getting to people, getting our hand up. But again, some of it was just attention to detail. Our guys are old enough, they're professional enough, been together now for a little bit. They understand when they're playing and not, really getting into it defensively. So you have to pick our spots as a coaching staff to really raise the level, in the locker room at halftime. You can't wear that out too much. But our guys are smart enough and intelligent and been together long enough to know when they're really executing defensively. My concern the other night was executing offensively. We missed a lot of assignments on plays that we had been running, and that was a concern. And it wasn't anything new. It was, attention to detail on certain things, and those are the things where we can't get complacent or take a step back on, is doing the little things on both ends of the floor.
Obviously, when you expend the energy defensively, sometimes it can detract from the offensive end. Do you see that happening? And I guess the other side of that is that okay? Because you'd rather a team that's going to work at it defensively.
No question. I'd rather, because, we have some natural scores, if you know what I mean. So they're going to naturally be ready to score offensively. Where we have trouble is making sure we get stops. I think that, and also, too, there's going to be nights where you can't score. There's nights that they're going to double team Lou like they did the other night, or put a bigger defender on him, or one of the best defenders on him. So now we got to go back and get stops. I would say I would much rather have our defense rolling than our offense, because one thing that helped us the other night, even though they took our primary score out, we still were able to move the ball and trust the pass. And the pass is what got us our defensive stops, and then trusting the pass, going from good shot to great shots with our passing.
The type of game that kind of really worries you as a coach, with them really struggling, that you'd be the team that they figured out, I guess.
Ryan, I know this sounds like every game. I don't care who it is, and we believe me, and I'm telling you this, and I'm firmly believing this. If we don't play hungry, if we don't play like, this is our last chance to play basketball, we're a struggle against anybody. We've got to come out with that focus, with that energy, and not listen to all the noise. We know who we are. We know how we have to play to win. If we don't play any other way than hard and win the hustle game, we'll struggle against any team in this league.
Have you noticed any change this year with your place in the standings of teams getting up a few more? Is there a way to gauge that at all? Starting off,
there's been some good starts, but again, I'm more worried about our approach, as you mentioned. We have to play hard, aggressive, and we got to outwork everybody we play against. Because if we don't, we're going to struggle, because we're not going to out-talent anybody. And with DeMar being out, and so it's one of those things that we got to play the hustle game for 48 minutes.
Obviously, Dwane Valanciunas has found a good rhythm in terms of rebounding the basketball and scoring the ball with help from teammates. But tonight he has a pretty interesting matchup, a difficult athletic front line for the Detroit Pistons. What have you seen from Jonas that's allowed him to get into this groove, and tonight, the expectations?
One thing that Jonas has done a great job of is rebound. He's done a much better job of defensive rebounding, getting the ball with two hands, going out of his area to get the rebounds. That's been impressive, the way he's done that. And that's one area where he, had come in as a challenge to improve this year. So that's an area where he can really help us. He's done a good job of staying below a roller, not letting them get behind us for the dunks and the layoff, but stay between and put doubt in that guard's mind, and he's done a good job of that. So his defensive approach has helped. Like I've always told Jonas, his value to this team is not how many touches he gets, how many points he scores, or plays called for him. It's how he executes those other areas, whether it's, rolling to the basket and finishing, getting fouled, making free throws, screening, and rolling. All those things are far more valuable than him catching the ball in the post and trying to go one-on-one. And that's hard to sell to any individual player. I understand that, but for our value to our team, that's where he has been big time, is understanding that these last few games and not worried about his touches or his possessions. He's done all the other great things for us to help us win.